Hey everyone, I hope you had a great day. Today we are looking at some new malicious compliance stories. I hope you enjoy them. If you like the video, don't forget to hit the like button, it really helps. And now let's start with the first story, shall we? The first story is called Thanks for the free items. In 2019, my wife and I welcomed our first child into the world. As a gift, my father, who lives on the other side of the country, wanted to buy us a crib. Obviously, the easiest way to do this was to order from Amazon, so that's what he did. The total came out to something like $650 with free shipping. Now, my wife and I were the ones to select which crib we wanted, and my father had no issue with the price. He orders it from his account and it's shipped to my address. So the crib shows up, they drop it at the base of our driveway, and we have about 15 steps up to our front door. That box is heavy. Probably handy of 500 pounds. And it's just me and my pregnant wife. So me. But we get it in and we spend a day building it and go on with our lives. But as ads do what ads do, my phone was bombarded with ads for cribs. Including the one my father just bought us less than 2 weeks ago. And surprise surprise, it's gone on sale for $430. So I contact Amazon, let them know what's going on and ask if they have a 30-day price guarantee. I figured there was no reason to tell my dad he could have saved $220 if he wasn't able to get the money back. Now, because it was over $200, they couldn't just do a refund, but said that we could return the crib and order a new one. Unfortunately, we've already built the crib and can't return it. So they told us to order a new one. When that crib comes in, return it as the old one and get a refund. I made sure to ask about return shipping. They said that would be covered, as the item has free shipping. So I saved the transcript of our conversation. We started to do what they told us. I contact my dad, he puts a new order in, and we wait for the box to arrive. Similar situation, heavy box left at the edge of my driveway. But this time the weather was pretty bad and the box got ruined. I took photos of it sitting at the curb and then moved it inside. I let my dad know and he contacts Amazon. He then gets an email providing the return address and instructions on how to return, including a blank affixed postage here spot on the label. Back to talking to Amazon support, and they are very sorry and look into it. Apparently, shipping on this crib is like $350. I'm sitting there with 2 cribs and proof that Amazon said they'll cover the return shipping, $700 for the 2 cribs, all for what amounts to a $430 crib. Fortunately, they told us to keep it and refunded the original purchase of $650. My sister lived a few hours from me, and she and her husband were looking at starting to try for kids. So she got herself a crib as a baby shower gift from my dad too. The next story is called Revoke My Access. I work as a developer at a smallish IT company. The company has, before my involvement, offered a range of products and services on-premise to our customers. A couple of years ago, we started to offer our services and products as a hosted solution as well. This is where my involvement starts. Over the course of a year, I and one other colleague, let's call him Jeff, ported our products to be suited for a multi-tenant environment. This took a fair amount of work, as the original products were not suited for multi-tenancy at all. So in the end, we ended up pretty much rewriting everything. Jeff and I were a good team. Our skills complemented each other nicely. Jeff was always the more technical guy. So he was in charge of the server admin stuff together with the systems core and security features. I was much more focused on the functional side of the products. I did everything from customer interaction to implementing their workflows to making sure it all looked good. And that it integrated well with the other applications of our customers. In short, while Jeff knew much more about the backend of our products, I knew what was actually happening in it. This of course meant that every single support request for our hosted solution ended up on my desk. The overwhelming majority of those requests were quick and simple fixes. Small edits to a workflow here, rerunning a batch job there, that kind of stuff. While I did need Jeff here and there, I was able to do about 90% of those requests myself within about 5 minutes. Sure, we had a technical support team, but they were much more focused on the on-premise customers. And with the hosted solution being significantly different at this point, had little knowledge of the hosted products. About 2 years and a number of reorganizations later, we ended up in the situation where one of our support staff members, she'll be known as Liza in this story, knows a fair bit about the hosted system. Jeff has moved to the support team in order to keep our hosted environment running smoothly. And between them, they are able to handle about 80% of the support requests that would normally have filtered down to me. Unfortunately, we are in the situation where the support manager, we'll call him Steve, doesn't like me very much. Sure, Steve is a good manager. He takes care of his staff and is a great guy to work with, if you're on his good side. Nevertheless, I am not. I have full access to everything, while he doesn't, and it doesn't sit well with him that I, a measly developer, have more access than him, a manager. Last year, as I returned from holiday, I found all of my rights in the production environment and all but a few in the test environment revoked. Jeff explained to me that there has been an audit. And one of the results was that, while I was still doing a lot on the operational side, that wasn't well documented. The level of access that I had didn't match the level that suited my job description. And instead of changing the job description, Steve opted to revoke all my rights. But what if I need to do insert random tasks that I still found myself with astonishing frequency? Steve grinned and said, "We can give you temporary rights, but you will need a ticket for that." Cue the malicious compliance. I started making a ticket for temporary rights for every single issue that I needed them for. By the end of the week, I had over 100 tickets on my name. The issues that Liza used to handle were queuing up as well. She now spent more time granting and revoking my access than she was solving the issues that she could solve on her own. Morale, customer satisfaction and ticket resolution scores, essentially an inverse of the amount of time a ticket spent waiting for support action, quickly dropped in unison. Steve doubled down. The problem wasn't with the access management, the problem was with my blatant abuse of the ticketing system. And therefore, a new rule was set in place that I was not to be granted access to any of the hosted systems at all anymore. Instead, I was to describe my actions in a request for change document, which could then be handled by Liza or Jeff. Of course, every change still had to be approved by the change manager, which of course so happened to be Steve. Great. Now, issues that took me 5 minutes to fix will take me half an hour to write out. I need to spell out every bit of impact that a change will have, and in such a way that Steve, who is by all means not a technician, understands what I'm talking about. Then, Liza or Jeff will have to make the changes. Of course, if anything unexpected happens, they'll have to roll back. And I will have to figure out what happened and amend the RFC to cope. All in all, something that used to take me 5 minutes now takes an hour and a half at best. At this point, my productivity is down pretty much 100%. Upper management has noticed as well. Hearing my explanation and seeing my, by now extensive paper trail, they intervened by doing the one thing they could reasonably do. They amend my job description to cover the additional tasks that I've been doing since building the system. And with that, Steve has no choice but to reinstate the access that I've had before. Steve still doesn't like me, but at least now the customers get their issues resolved. The last story is called Water Night. I've been working bar security, aka bouncer, at the same bar for about 3 years. If you ever wanna know what it's like to be a bouncer, think daycare, but at night. And instead of small children, it's adults who revert to children when intoxicated, or even when not intoxicated. Anyhow, this night is much like any other night. There's a popular local band playing, so we've got a decent crowd going. The team is keeping their eyes open for anyone passed out, being belligerent, the works. I'm standing by the door to the bar area of the building. The way this place works is, it's basically cut in half, with one half being a pool hall and the other a bar and entertainment area, separated by a wall with a door on either end. I stand by this door a lot, because I can easily keep track of both rooms at the same time, without needing to really walk all around the place. So there's a gentleman sitting near the door where I'm at. And there's a couple sitting at the bar across the way. The female is well known for acting out when she's drunk. From what we could see on the cameras inside, she walks over to the gentleman by the door and starts trying to flirt with him. This guy has come into the bar for years and never has raised a hand to anyone for any reason. He's a professionally trained boxer, doesn't drink and doesn't generally close out the bar. He rejects her advances and she becomes noticeably upset. She proceeds to run over to her man and tells him that this guy has disrespected her and called her names. The gentleman ushers her man over and kindly asks him to make this woman leave him alone. Before the conversation starts though, the husband grabs this guy by the collar and starts driving him towards the wall. Well, chaos ensues and they didn't realize that he came with his 20 friends. He throws a couple of jabs at the husband and the woman because she decided she wanted in the sprawl. The dude punches her so hard he literally falls her bottom row of teeth back into her mouth. This all happens in the span of about 10 seconds, so the security team jumps in and gets everyone separated. The husband and wife get taken outside, but we haven't called the cops because generally that's the last resort. So we are outside. This lady is bleeding from her mouth and the husband is visibly angry. She keeps asking me to call the cops, but I keep telling her that's a bad idea, considering the husband put his hand on the guy first. But she's not having it. So I call the police. I can't describe how difficult it was not to laugh in this lady's face as she witnesses the cops put her husband in handcuffs and not the guy who punched her. She said something that I will never forget and I wish I had it on record. This is why we don't call the cops. I very nonchalantly reminded her that it was her idea to call the police in the first place. I didn't see them again until about a year later. She had to get her whole bottom row of front teeth pretty much fixed and still hasn't changed on the slightest. What a night. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel for more content. Let me know what you think about the stories and the video in general in the comment section below. And now, have a great day. Bye bye.